Why should Democrats put such an emphasis on a state that they have absolutely no chance of winning in the 2024 election?
Well, you got to win the nomination first. Why should President Biden sit back and allow a state that he finished 5th in be first up? He remembers, I've talked to him.
But isn't Biden, in effect, stacking the deck, moving states that he knows he can win, even if there's no chance he can win them in the general election? And
I don't think you're stacking the deck. I think you're avoiding embarrassment. And that is what he is attempting to avoid here. And I would expect anybody to do the same.
My. You know what? Let me just go on and start with this. Let me just do this, okay? Let me just go ahead. This is how I'm feeling. Let me go ahead and bring my fire extinguisher out, because we about to go in on this. You see this right here? Okay, this is it. Now, let me just parse out some things. That was Representative James Clyburn from the great state of South Carolina. Okay, I got more papers to throw. I am just woosah. I'm having a moment right here. The man said, why should he, referring to the president, sit back and allow a state that he was 5th in to be among the first states? Okay, so, and he's avoiding embarrassment. That's him being the president of the United States of America. Why should he sit back and allow a state that he was 5th in? You know what, Representative James Clyburn? I'm glad you said that. He was 5th in that state. And you know what happened? All those other candidates coalesced around a person who was 5th in the state of New Hampshire. 5th, they dropped out of the race because they was promised some things, all to jump in to try to stop the candidacy of Senator Bernard Sanders from the great state of Vermont. Guess what? Because they know that the American people are rocking with the agenda that we were pushing. Why should he sit back and allow a state that was 5th? So now you admitting the quiet part out loud that the states of Iowa and New Hampshire are being penalized. You're saying the quiet part out loud while you allow the narrative, the previous narrative about how we need a diverse pool of voters to be up first in the Democratic primary. But it turns out, you know what? Put Ida up. We're gonna go in on this. My grandmother used to say, my maternal grandmother Ida used to say, you can put truth in the river. 5 days after lie, truth gon' catch up. Now that's how grandma said it. What she meant by that is these fools were sitting up here lying, talking about it was about diversity. And in particular, they said it was about the diversity of the black community being able to weigh in, since the black community is the loyalist base of the Democratic Party. This is what these lying mofos said, because they are liars and the truth is not in them. And they got people to believe that it was all about the black community being able to weigh in first. And look at here, look at here, look at here, look at here. The truth actually comes out that President Joseph R. Biden is rigging it because he don't want to be embarrassed. Ain't this a bunch of BS? Is this a democracy or what? Ida, go ahead. Roll on in here, sis, because I can keep steamrolling this all damn day. And if they really did care about diversity and the black community that continues to deliver for Democrats while Democrats don't deliver for us, if they really cared about diversity of other folks, they would be looking at states like Nevada, and they certainly would not be looking at South Carolina, because the Democrat is gonna lose South Carolina in the general, which they admitted. They would have been looking more at a state like Georgia. But you know what? I digress. Sister Rodriguez, go ahead, baby. Take it away and do what you do.
I was gonna say, he represents the state of South Carolina, right?
Yes.
So let's look at the poverty rate there. Let's look at the education there. Let's look at the conditions of black people there. You know what, I love to hear these people sit here and talk about they're deflecting. They're always deflecting because they're not doing their job. Look, you care about diversity. How about the conditions of the black people, of the struggling people in your state? It's one of the most struggling states in the entire country. And when we had to go down there, right? Because a sheriff beat up a little girl, a little black girl. Let's talk about the conditions of your people. You sitting up there pointing at everybody else. What are you doing to make the conditions of Black and diverse people better in the state of South Carolina?
Woo! I just can't even. And it came out of his mouth. It came out of his mouth. So for all these folks who was caping for him and caping for the Democratic Party, it came out of his mouth. He said, Ida, the man said, Joe Biden remembers. He remembers that he didn't win that state. So now this state being punished. And I got to tell you something. Iowa and New Hampshire, they not rocking. They mad as they are livid. And New Hampshire basically said, we ain't moving. First of all, it's written into they can't move it if they wanted to. They would have to change the law, but they said they not moving. They live it. But the man had the pure unadulterated gall to say the quiet part out loud. And you know why he said it out loud? Because he knows that there will be no repercussions and consequences for saying it, because folks are just gonna go along like sheep being led to the slaughter. But the man said it with his own mouth that it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with more Black people and other people of color getting the way in on the Democratic primary a little earlier. It has everything to do with rigging the system, because like he said, why should he being President Joseph Biden, sit back and allow the state that he was fifth in to go first? Iowa, New Hampshire, I hope y'all hearing this. The man is sought revenge on y'all.
Well, why doesn't the state go first for him, who is responsible for that state as well, and for the conditions of the people being better? Like that, you talking about punishment for all of the descendants of all of the slaves of this country, no matter where you sprinkle them. So what are you doing to make the conditions better? Like that's the thing that when I think about South Carolina, I think about aesthetically beautiful, but how horrible are the conditions of the people of that state who are struggling? You want to talk about rigged? It's all rigged. We talking about you being there is rigged.
That's right. He had the nerve to come all up into my state when I was running for Congress, because they said I wasn't the right kind of Democrat. Why? Because I don't fall for the okie doke. I don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. I don't fall for the foolishness and the mayhem and the deceit and the destruction. And y'all sitting up here playing games. We went from talking about chapstick to talking about rig stick. And they are really okay with this. I mean, my blood is boiling right now. People can't tell, because you know what? These people don't give a damn
about the people.
It's all about them and their positioning. This is what this is about. And it came out of this man's mouth.
Yeah.
The coward that he is. Came out of his mouth. South Carolina, y'all could do a whole lot better. You really, really can. These neoliberals, boy, they are something else. The man just said. And then on top of it, the DNC said they're not gonna hold any debates. What really, in essence, at the end of the day, makes them any different from from a certain segment of the GOP? Absolutely nothing. The man just said they rigging it. They said it, and ain't damn thing y'all gonna do about it.